Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name is Soleil and I garden in a Zone 5B in mid-Michigan, and I'm going to take you around for another fall tour today. We're definitely losing lots of leaves, but there's still plenty of color to see, and I'll show you a little bit about what I'm doing to put the garden away for the winter and some of the things that I have left to do, because it sure is a long list right now. All right, let's get going. As we walk around the garden today, I do want to mention that you will see things out that I am using to work on putting the garden to bed. So you will see hoses and you will see carts and all sorts of things, because we're really trying to prepare for the winter months here that are coming. We definitely have a really good week of weather that is coming up soon, and so I'm really looking forward to that because I feel like that's going to extend the amount of time that I have just to prepare for winter. And we just got a new fountain cover today, so we're in the process of getting ready to take that and get it all emptied out and covered. Alright, well, let's start in the long border today. Over here, almost all of my hydrangeas have gone brown in terms of their panicles, but they are certainly still beautiful, and I love the way that they look with snow on them in the winter time. Over here we have a superstar spirea, and it's really got some beautiful color on it. And here's the quickfire, now lost all of its leaves, but it still has its panicles on, and I think they look really lovely all dried. Isn't that pretty? It has such a neat form now. This maple has lost its leaves. We got some recent rain and it just dropped everything. So it was a beautiful, glorious red for about a week before we lost almost all of its leaves. The cold kind of came with a rapid approach this year. You can see the berry white hydrangea over here has its panicles browning. And we have the strawberry sundae and the vanilla strawberry hydrangeas in this garden bed all browned up. We're putting the pool supplies away for the winter. You can see we've got the pool covered now. And this garden bed is just about ready for the winter. There's not a whole lot else that I'm going to do to this one other than wait for the phlox to die back. And once we have the phlox dying back, then I will cut those to the ground. Now this phlox, the ultra pink and the pinkadot, have been really good in terms of mildew resistance. Neither one of them got any this year, so that is great for our area. We get powdery mildew on just about all of the phlox by the end of the season, even ones that say that they are mildew resistant. Over here I have taken out an autumn moon hydrangea hosta, and in its place I planted the plumbago. So it will be interesting to see how that does in this bed, if it gets a little bit more warmth and comes up a little sooner. And then just look at the color on this beautiful azalea. I love it. So gorgeous. And with that pop of chartreuse behind, that limey green of the false cypress. Again, this maple just lost lots of its leaves as well. Now over here I have cut some mums back because they were kind of smothering a bit these heuchera in this bed, and I don't want to lose them because they get smothered. So I've taken them off, and hopefully the good weather we get this week will last long enough so that they can kind of rebound a bit. So I may move that mum. And back in the back, what has turned purple, that is the double play doozy spirea. And that really plays nicely with the color of this viburnum. Everything's still just so colorful. Now you can see I've been tucking leaf, shredded leaf in with the garden bed so that I can kind of give them a little winter protection. There definitely was a lack of mulch back here. It had been all decomposed. So that will help protect those over this winter, but those pulmonaria have taken really well to this garden bed. I can leave the mums up over the winter. I don't mind doing that. They dry up and snap off pretty easy in the spring. The long border definitely has some pretty color in it still. Just look at the deep, rich colors of the purple and reds and the pinks. Some really lovely color combinations right now. I did take one of the climbing clematis out of a pot in the front garden and have planted it back here. Hopefully it's not too late and it will be good. And that barberry is just on fire back there. Look at the color on that. Sometimes the colors of nature are just almost unreal. We have some of these snapdragons that are still just looking beautiful this time of year. It's amazing. This pot combination is still going. It's like in the cool weather with the moisture. Lots of color if you look this way still, but also leaves have fallen from many of the trees and they are bare. So let's take a walk on our woodland path. Here we've got this bed really nicely mulched. And we've lost all the leaves on the Mount Airy Fothergilla, but this bed still looks pretty to me. It's got some color yet. And the pieris are definitely putting on a beautiful amount of flower buds. So I expect we'll get a decent show this winter. It's just so pretty this time of year to look down this path. I've been thinking about placing some of the bricks I have because the project I was going to do with them kind of fell by the wayside. So I'm thinking maybe about using some of them interspersed with this kind of as a crazy paving kind of thing, because I do like the look of bricks and stone together in the garden. I'm so happy that I planted this row of heucheras here. I just love the look and the effect that it has, the long-lasting color. And over here we have just the color of the heucheras left. And the Dolce Gumdrop ones right here have turned from a gray to almost a pink lavender. It's so hard to explain the color on these, so silvery, just beautiful. I hope those do well in my garden. I would love to have more of that color. And of course the Mega Caramel heuchera looks really beautiful right here. One of the things I like about Brunnera is how long of a season they give you. They come up nice and early in the spring and they stick around for a long time. Here we have some flowers on the ultra pink flock, so I just didn't have the heart to cut this one back because it still had blooms, and I saw this next week going to be beautiful. I thought, well, maybe we'll even get a few more. This Japanese tassel fern back here right now is kind of stealing the show a bit. I love the habit of it. And it has such beautiful, like, hairy stems on its fronds. Let me see if I can get close up so you can see. See how fuzzy those are? So pretty. Very unique. Now in this bed I have left the astilbe foliage because it kind of has this glowing brown orange look to it, and I think it just looks gorgeous. So I'm going to leave it there until it completely dies. I've had a lot of birds come through. They're busy preparing for the winter. They're eating all of the little red berries off of the honeysuckles and all of the blackberries off of the buckthorn tree. I still get lots of them on the ground that seed themselves, but it's okay. The Virginia still looks great. That's one that I just love because of its long season as well. All of the hostas in this garden bed have been cleaned up now. The Hakona Chloe grass, I am surprised, is still retaining its color. It hasn't gone, you know, to that golden tan, but it does have some beautiful little seed heads on it. And I see some really nice buds on the rhododendrons back here, so I'm excited about that for next year. The color in this garden bed is beautiful. I can't believe it, but we got a new coneflower bloom. And the witch hazel has some beautiful color on its leaves. Almost a rainbow on some of them. Next to that jet stream hydrangea, it's beautiful. And then we're still getting flowers on the butterfly the scabiosa. The hellebores are doing really well. In fact, this one over here has put on several fresh new leaves. So that's nice, and I really love the foliage on it. It's so beautiful. I mean, you buy plants that have both beautiful blooms and beautiful foliage. You just can't beat that. You can see we've got this bed is all cleaned up. Looks kind of bare to me right now, but that's all right. We're definitely going to get this one planted up with some bulbs soon. Let's take a look at the half moon garden real quick. The half moon garden is looking really pretty right now because the blueberry bushes are just amazing, and the burgundy glow ajuga really is colored up. I mean, all of the color is just so much depth to it. And we're getting those beautiful bracts on the 7 sunflower right now. When the sun shines through those, it is simply beautiful. You can see it over there on the other one as well coming. And we have a beautiful white mum that is in flower still over here. Another blueberry bush with its bright, almost fluorescent foliage. And then the beautiful bracts on the 7 sun above it. So pretty. And then some of that gorgeous color from the burgundy glow ajuga at the base. I'm super happy with where I planted the pink diamond hydrangea over here. And just look at the beautiful color on the 9 bark beneath it. It's just starting to lose its leaves, but the leaves lighten up to this beautiful glowing red. Even my smooth hydrangeas have started to go over, but they look beautiful still to me. I'm going to enjoy those in the winter. I do need to come through here and get the purple coneflowers cleaned up. And then this Amber Jubilee 9-bark over here is glowing. Isn't that pretty? I wish it had a few more leaves so you guys could have seen it in its full glory, but it was really beautiful. We even have some little dianthus blooms at the base down here. The potager is looking nice. From my perspective, it just looks so nice and clean. It's only thing left in here is I've got some of these. Well, I'm gonna actually get rid of them. These are dahlias in this. It might be too late for me to save them. I'll pull them out and look at them. If they're okay, then I will, but I've got to cut those back, as well the flax back here. You can see the powdery mildew that is all over this flax. Yuck. So this 9-bark is starting to put on its fall color as well. And we still have some blooms on the catmint. Thinking about planting some lettuce or some kale and putting my covers over them to see how they do. Maybe could get a small crop before it's too late. I'm not sure. It might be too late. But sometimes it's fun just to experiment and see how late you can plant things. Lots of little blooms on the dianthus here. And as we walk out to the front, I have just cleaned out the hostas from this garden bed. Now I think this garden bed, I have some alliums that are like Schubertii or Christophii. I can't remember which one, but I think those would look really pretty in front here. So thinking about adding those there. I still have to decide where things go. Lots of purple coneflowers still in the back here that I have to clean up. We're getting there. It's kind of a slow process. We have so much cleanup to do. Over here we're getting that beautiful, beautiful color on these low growth sumacs. Aren't those gorgeous? So pretty. When you get deep inside, you can even see a bright yellow. Gorgeous. Really happy with those and how they've filled in here, and are just a really good hardy plant. They don't have any problems. They do really well in drought. They've been great for me. Still working on getting the beds cleaned out. Once we get these leaves all shredded up, I will put them back onto the garden. And all of the hostas are out of this part. Lots of beautiful hellebore foliage, which I just love. I never did get around to splitting this one this year. I just keep running out of time. There's so many different things to do, but I'm definitely going to do that. It's getting really, really big. And there's a baby right here. I need to dig that one up and plant it somewhere else. Alright, so there's a little bit of Halloween action that's going on out front right now. We always do a haunted house. My husband does it every year, and a lot of work goes into it. A lot of work goes into it, getting it up and taking it back down, but it sure is fun for the kids. These irises that we planted recently are still doing really, really well, so I'm happy about that. All of the mums that are orange are just about gone, but the purple ones are still doing really well all throughout the garden. And I mean, just look at the color that we're seeing on this Jetstream hydrangea along with the orange rocket barberry. Now I can see this bed from my living room window, so it's really nice to have the beautiful color. And it's really nice. It was really nice last winter to be able to look out and see these variegated boxwoods because they did provide some color amongst all of the white and the snow. The deer did come in and eat off some of the tops of my bobo hydrangea. Still getting some blooms on this pink scabiosa. All the hostas have been cleaned out of this bed now. The ferns will die back. The Japanese painted ferns that you see under there will die back on their own. The sedum I can clip back too, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to wait a little bit yet. Quite a few other plants have a ways to go before I would cut them back as well. So sometimes it's a matter of whether they die back first or if we get snow that covers them up first. In Michigan, it's always a bit of a crapshoot. You just never know. I still love, love, love the colors of this garden. Been really happy with the way that this turned out, and I really love the addition of the bobos from last year into this garden. I'm looking forward to seeing them get a little bit bigger, along with the barberry growing taller and the jet stream hydrangea really filling out, so we get more of that height in the garden. One project I never quite got to this year was this mailbox garden. And my plan was to take some additional rocks and move the rocks out to where we have this kind of riverbed of rocks so that I had a little bit bigger of a planting area. But that just never happened. So hopefully I'll get to it, I don't know, next year. We'll see. Because I really do want to expand the bed a little bit just to be able to add something that goes between the daffodils and the coneflowers, because we have daffodils for late winter, spring interest. We have the coneflowers and the clematis for the summer interest, and then we have the mums for the fall interest. But I really like something like early summery, or even just some kind of foliage. I think having a ground cover, like maybe the ajuga would do really well in here. I don't know. We could try it. If I do decide to try a ground cover in there, this ajuga, the black scallop, might be really nice out there, because most everything out there is currently green, so it'd be nice to add a little bit of color. Either this one or the burgundy glow might be a good choice. I'm excited to see how the lemon jade sedum does next year. I'm getting a little bit of color on these viburnums here, but the deer have come through and eaten all of the rose hips off of the roses, so I no longer have that beauty to look at. That's all right. They really are filling up their bellies right now before the cold comes through and hits. Had a lot of gorgeous buds happening on these gaura. So if it stays this nice, I might see some really nice blooming again. We'll see. I have come through and cleaned up this garden bed, and I think it looks really pretty. It's definitely very low in terms of the height, but the mums are just gorgeous right now. Now you can actually see them, and they're starring in the show instead of looking through that mess of purple coneflowers that we had in here that were all dried out. So this is the pot that I took the clematis out of that I planted in the back garden. But yeah, I think this looks pretty right now. Certainly could use, again, a little bit more height. I would love to have something behind this tree that's actually evergreen instead of the sand cherry. The purple sand cherry is really pretty in the spring and it has beautiful blossoms, but the deer really like it. So they come through and eat the tops off of it. I mean, it's nice I don't have to prune it, but it doesn't look great. So maybe I will move that and find something else that's kind of an evergreen to place back here. Maybe one of those false cypress would be pretty here, just to add a different color. Just look back at the full garden bed here, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks right now, but I definitely have a lot of things on my to-do list. So we'll see if we can get some of them done this week. I think this garden bed is got some fall interest going on. We finally have that really bright red foliage on the burning bush, and I really love how it just is up at the top. And we also have some azaleas in this garden bed that have colored up quite nicely as well. It'll be lovely when those get a little bit bigger. And this viburnum right here is putting on some colors. I did trim off some of the blooms from this hydrangea right here. This is a strawberry sundae. They looked really pretty, so I took them off to make a bouquet and dry them for indoors. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's garden tour. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope your to-do list for the fall is not too long, but that you're being able to get outside and enjoy some of this last beautiful weather. We'll see you next time. Bye!